All right, so fine. So we'll actually start off with OOPS today, object-oriented programming, which is actually required in case of Selenium to a very large extent, right? So I'll make a new package today. All right, I'll make that under the source folder. You right-click new package and I'll call it as day 2. Fine. And in this, I'll make a simple class and let us call that class as book. I'll not have any main function inside it. Okay. I'll define few properties of a book. For example, name of the book. Okay. Int price of the book. So I have this book class which has got two properties. All right. Name and price. Okay. Right. And there is no main function. All right. So this name and price are two simple properties of book. And I'll create a new class known as say a reader, book reader. Okay, with the main function. In this, I will create the main function. Okay, in the book reader class. Right. So what I'll do is that in the book reader class, I'll create the object of book class. All right. How do you create the object? You just have to write new book. Okay. When you write new book, you create the object of the class. Now what happens if you create the object of the class and in this case an object is made. Okay. Inside that object you will have the properties name and price. These two properties, they become the part of the object. Okay, right. And I can create as many objects of this class. Is my font size okay or should I be increasing it? I'm just asking to everybody. Is my font size okay for Eclipse or should I increase it? Like, is it visible? Is it visible to everybody? Alright, okay. Hold on. I'll just increase it a little bit. Just a minute. I'll just increase it to 12, I think. Yeah, now it is fine, right? Uh-oh. Yeah, I hope it is more clear. So I've created the object of the book class and these will be the two objects of the book class. Each object will have the property name and price. Okay, right. But you cannot access these objects. These objects are just hanging in the memory. All right. These objects are just hanging in the memory. To access these objects, you need to create object references. Okay, there is a difference between object and object references, right? Okay, you write like this, book B1 equals to new. So B1 becomes the object reference, and in the memory, B1 will point towards this object. Okay, and similarly, you can write book B2 equals to new book. So in the memory, what will happen is that B2 will point towards this particular object. Okay, right. So B1 and B2 will point towards these two objects and they can change the states of the objects. You can write B1 dot name is say book A, and B1 dot. When you write a dot, you will be able to see the values over here, whatever is the part of B1, price is part of B1, you will be able to see this. So this way B1 can change the state of the object it is pointing to. Okay, name will become A and price will become 100. Okay, right. And with B2 also you can change the state of the other object. You can write B2 dot name is B and B2 dot price is 200. Okay, right. And what is this error? Okay, you need to save the book.java file. Yeah. So now what will happen is that, okay, once you write this, fine, you will have B2 pointing towards this and name will be B and price will be 2. Okay, fine. So this way you will have two objects and every object will have its own name as well as price. Fine. Okay. This is a kind of virtualization. Like if you have book, then book has got two parameters, name and price. But if you look at the memory, I've created two objects, and for every object, I can give the value of name and price as different. Okay, right. So just a minute, I think, yeah, that's fine. So now I can create a third object also directly the same way. Okay, right. Or I can also write book B3 equals to null. Now what is null? That this means that B3 is not pointing anywhere. Null. Okay, right. And I can make it point towards object of book on the next line. So object reference is very different than object. This is what I want to tell you. This is object. An object reference points towards that object. Okay. Object reference will point towards the object. The object is very different than object reference. I can make B3 initialize to different values. I can write C and b3 dot price as 300. Okay, so what will happen is that in the memory, another object will be formed, okay, with two parameters, name, price, and B3 will point towards them. Okay, out here name would be C and price would be 300. Okay, right. Now, if I go back, right, then I am writing system.out.println b3.name, b1.name, b2.name, and b3.name. I'll print all three of the names. So when I run this, it will print A, B, and C. Okay, at any point of time, if anybody has any questions, please ask me. Please feel free to ask me. Okay, right. So A, B, and C will be printed. Now, if I write B2 equals to B3, now comes the difference. Okay, now comes the difference. Now, what does this mean? This means that B2 will point to the same location where B3 was pointing. Okay, B2 equals to B3 means B2 will no longer be pointing over here. And B2 will also point towards the same location where B3 was pointing. Okay, object references can change objects. And one object can have more than one object references as well. See, this object has got B2 and B3 both object references pointing towards it. Okay, and if I type the same command again with a demarcator in between, and if I run this, see, this will both will print C because B2 and B3 both have the names C. Okay, objects are different, object references are different. B2 and B3 are now pointing towards the same object. If I write over here B3 dot or B2 dot name is Z. So what B2 will do? B2 will go in the memory and change this C to Z. Okay, now if I print the names for B2 as well as B3, when B3 will access the name, it will bring the updated name Z. All right. So object is different, object reference is different. Okay, sometimes people just casually call that B1 is object of book. Fine, at times it's fine if you say that, but it's not the actually object, it's the reference towards the object of the book class. All right. Similarly, in this class, I can have a function like public void start reading. And inside it, I'll write system.out.println reading book, and I'll print the name of the book. So when I write system.out.println reading book concatenated, plus operation is known for concatenation. I am printing the name of the book, right? And I can call this function. From here, I can write b1 dot start reading. So start reading function will be the part of every object. Okay, start reading function will be the part of every object. In every object, you will have this function start reading. Okay, start reading function will be the part of every object. And every object can call it, I can write b1 dot start reading and b2 dot start reading, b3 dot start reading. And when you run this, see, when b1 called it, it printed reading book A because start reading function prints reading book and the name of the book. Okay, out here I have initialized, I have created the object of book and initialized the b1 dot name to A. All right, so that's why in the output in the console you get start reading A and then reading Z because B2 and B3 had name Z. So technically this is known as a non-static global variable. This is also known as non-static global variable. This is known as non-static function. Okay, right. So these are all the part of objects. All right. Now suppose there is a function. I can create another function. Maybe I can write over here public void by book. So I can inside it, I can print buying book and the price of the book as well. Right. So similarly, like if I can call it in the same way, I can write b1 dot buy book, b2 dot buy book, and b3 dot buy book. Okay, so in my bookstore, I've got three books, and you see that buying book for 100, buying book for 300, buying book for 100. So for every object, it will print the price. Okay, fine. And now, suppose in this book class, I offer some variable known as discount. Now, discount is fixed amount for every book. Okay, when I initialize it, suppose in my bookstore, I'm giving a flat discount of 50. And I'll say b1 dot discount is 50. Okay, right. It's integer, sorry, it's an integer. I'll write b1 dot discount is 50, b2 dot discount is 50, b3 dot discount is 50. So when I go and buy the book, okay, I can write over here price less the discount. Okay, right. So when I run this, it will reduce 50 rupees or 50, the amount 50 from every book you buy. All right, fine. But you understand one thing, that this discount amount is fixed. I'm unnecessarily keeping the same value of discount in every object. Okay, in every object, I am having discount value initialized to 50. Okay, right? So what happens is that if you initialize this discount value to 50 in every book, right? So what happens is that in this globally, the value gets stored somewhere over here as t. The discount value gets stored in the memory at a common location if I make this static. If I make this variable static, then this will go and get stored at a common location in the memory. Okay, and the value will be 50. So it will be removed from the object. If I make it static, it will no longer be the part of the object. Okay, right. And if I make it static, it will be at the common location and can be accessed by every object. The output will still be the same, but but you cannot access this thing. Okay, you cannot just you can ignore initializing the discount for every object. When you make a property static, it becomes common for all the objects and it can be accessed directly with the name of the class. You can write book dot discount is 50. No need to write b1 dot discount is 50. You can write, but it will give you a yellow sign. That means it's a warning. It is telling you that fine, you can initialize discount to 50, but this should not be the way of doing it. That is why it is giving you a yellow warning. Okay. And you can write a discount as 50 over here. Directly with the name of the class, you can access the static stuff. So this is known as a static global variable. Static means it will not be the part of any object. Okay, right. And it will be at a common location for all the objects. It's a class variable. Generally, it is also known as a class variable. That is, it's the part of the class, not the object. You can access it directly with the name of the class. Okay, maybe there is some other function. Public void xyz, which is, I'm just assuming that suppose there is some function which is common for all the books, right? For all the books in your bookstore, there is a function which is common. So you can actually make it static. If I make a function static, then you can call it directly with the name of the class. Book dot xyz. You can call it. All right, so this is known as a static function. So there are two types of properties in every class. One property is non-static, one property is static. Okay, this is very important, guys. Whatever I am teaching you today, it is really very important. Okay, you just cannot ignore this stuff. All right, every class we do is really important. Okay, and especially these are the basics for Selenium. Generally, people ignore these things. Okay, and they directly write scripts. So you should not be doing that. So there are two types of variables, static variables, non-static variables. There are two types of functions, static functions and non-static functions. All right, fine. So we will be learning both the types. All right, and we'll be working with both of them. Now, if I run this, then you get the same output you were getting earlier. Now, the next thing. The next thing is, how do we use this concept of static and non-static in Selenium? And one more thing, if I have a static function, this is important. If I have a static function xyz, and inside it I write name equals to ABC. I will get an error. I can access name inside the non-static function, but I cannot access the name inside static function. Okay, basically the rule is static functions cannot access non-static variables. These are non-static variables, right? If you have a static function, you cannot access them. The logic why you cannot access them is very simple. XYZ is a static function. XYZ function lies somewhere over here in the memory, which is common for all the objects, right? Okay. Now, whose name should I be equating to ABC? I am calling this function like this, book.xyz. Which object's name should be ABC? Okay. So static functions cannot access static variables and they cannot call static function, non-static functions. You cannot call start reading function from here. Which book to start reading? Okay, you cannot do that. Non-static can access anything. See, in this buy book function, I'm accessing discount variable, which is static, and the price variable, which is non-static. Non-static can do anything, but static functions, they have a limitation that they can only access static stuff. This is a major rule. You can remember this. Only access static stuff. Static functions can only access static stuff. They cannot access non-static. Okay, right? So how is this thing used in Selenium? How do we use these concepts in Selenium? Let us talk about that now. All right. Yesterday I had included Selenium jars over here. Okay. And I had also made a simple program in which I just showed you that you create the object of some class known as Chrome drivers. Over here, I'm creating object of Chrome driver class, and when you run this, you just by creating the object of this internal class known as Chrome driver, I am able to start Chrome, but you won't be able to start it. There are few settings which need to be done. Okay, there's a question being asked that can we call functions in another function other than main functions? Yes, you can. You can. Okay, it's up to you. In book.java, when I'm calling start reading, I can call by book over here as well. If you want, I can call it. Okay, right. Now, moving ahead, this is book reader. Fine. Now, um, so now how this is used in Selenium. All right. So now, if you go by the website of Selenium, which is seleniumhq.org, this is the official website of Selenium. And if you go to the download section, then this is the Javadoc link. Okay, Javadoc is nothing but the documentation of Selenium, right? If you click on this, then you will be able to see all the classes, right? And under every class, Like these are all the classes which are present inside your Selenium API, right? And API is means application programming interface. Okay, so this is the Selenium API with you. And this is written WebDriver over here. You will have something written WebDriver. If you click on this, then you see these are all the beginner classes in the architecture of Selenium. These are all the initial classes in the architecture of Selenium: Chrome driver, Edge driver, event firing, Firefox. As the name suggests, each browser has a particular class associated with it. Okay. Event firing WebDriver is used for some complex actions and all. A remote WebDriver is used for Selenium Grid, where you have to run the test cases parallelly. Firefox driver, Edge driver, iDriver, these are used for individual browsers. Okay, so let us study some major drivers and then I'll move ahead. Right, over here, I'll just create a new class known as sample Selenium. Okay, right, with the main function. What I'll do is that for Firefox, you have the class Firefox driver. You can work with this by creating the object of this particular class. Where is this class located? This class is located inside the jar files of Selenium which we had imported yesterday. Okay, and you can import this class. You'll get the import option, and you can write Firefox driver.get. Go to some URL like HTTP, say yahoo.com. So get is an internal function. There are many functions under Firefox driver class. Okay, if you place your mouse in front of this dot and hit Control space bar, you will get a lot of functions. These are all the non-static functions available in the Firefox driver class, and get is among one of those functions. Okay, the get function will take you to a URL, and you can specify the protocol over here. Mentioning protocol is very important. If you don't mention it, then you will not actually reach that particular URL. Fine. But in your case, you will be getting an error. Okay. In your case, you will be getting an error if you go to the official website and go to the downloads section. You need to download a exe, Mozilla Gecko driver exe. You need to click on this latest and uh, scroll down and download this zip file for your OS, depending on your OS or something. You need to download this, and I have downloaded and I have kept this thing out here, geckodriver.exe. I have kept it out here, and what you can do is you can write over here system.set property webdriver.gecko. Now, I'll tell you what am I doing. In your case, you will get an error. To resolve that error, you need to mention this line webdriver dot gecko dot driver, and you need to give the path of that exe. Gecko driver.exe. So this what does this line do? Look, first of all, system is an internal class. And in the system class, there are lot of static functions and variables. Okay, so you have to use these static functions and variables inside the system class. And set property is a function, right, inside the system class, which is static. So you can directly call it with the name of the class. We are setting a system property and giving the path of jacodriver.exe. This exe has capabilities of automating Firefox through Selenium. So you have to put this line. And when you run this, this will open a Firefox browser and take you to yahoo.com. You see that? This thing opens a Firefox browser and opens yahoo.com. Okay, right. And now, similarly, you have got Chrome driver, which is for Chrome. If I just hit right Chrome and I hit Control spacebar of my keyboard, I'll get the Chrome driver option. And I can write Chrome driver cd equals to new Chrome driver, and this will launch Chrome just by creating the object. It launches Chrome. Everything is inbuilt. Okay, your Chrome driver should be imported. And for Chrome also there is an exe which you need to download from Selenium website. Okay, that is seleniumhq.org. Go over here, go to the download section, and out here for Chrome, you can download the Chrome driver and you can go to the latest link over here and click on this link Chrome driver, and uh, depending on your OS you can download for Windows 64-bit as well as 32-bit. This will do, this will work. Okay, and you can download it. I have already downloaded it to Chrome driver.exe over here. Okay, and when you can simply write the command system.setProperty webdriver.chrome.driver, and you can give the path to Chrome driver.exe out here. Okay, right. And look, the thing is, if I write, I can also write Chrome driver.get, and you can give the URL http yahoo.com. So this program will first open Firefox. It will take Firefox to Yahoo, and then it will open Chrome and it will take Chrome to Yahoo. Right. Okay. Look, at times these browsers they fail to work as well. All right. See, I'll tell you when in which cases these will fail to work. Okay. See, Firefox is opening, Chrome is opening. Fine. In case of Firefox, you have to be careful about some things. For example, right now, the version of Firefox which I have on my machine, if you look at it carefully, is just a minute. This WebEx is blocking. Yeah. If you go to in Firefox, if you go to the help menu, click on About Firefox. Right now it is 61. So my current version of Selenium is supporting 61. But sometimes what happens is that maybe the browser is upgraded to 62, which is not supported by Selenium. In that case, you get some timeout error. This comes up, I've seen it. So you have to make sure that use the browser which is supported. In case Selenium is up, in case the browser is upgraded, then you have to wait till the next release of Selenium so that they actually support it. But till that time, you have to work with one older version. Okay, right. So you have to work with one older version. So in this case, always make sure that in your browser, okay, in your Firefox browser, you go to tools options and search for updates. You turn off your updates, that is never check for updates. Don't let the automatic updates update Firefox, because if it gets updated, maybe Selenium's latest version won't support it. Okay. In case of Chrome, if something happens and you're not able to open Chrome, error comes up, download latest Chrome and install it, as well as latest Chrome driver exe. Make sure your Chrome driver exe or your Firefox driver exe should be latest. Okay. If these are not latest, also you will get errors sometimes. There is a question being asked, how can we refer driver? It is if it is not there in system. I mean, if there is FTP, I couldn't get you. You mean this exe file? This has to be in the system mandatorily. There is no other way. Okay, you have to have this file in the system. Right. Now, in case of I, yes, I is tricky. All right, you have to have this Internet Explorer driver. Okay, which is for I. You just write Internet and hit Control space bar. You will get the name Internet Explorer driver. It will get imported as well automatically. Okay, you create the object of Internet Explorer driver and make sure that you get the exe file right from the Selenium website. If you go to the download section again for your Internet Explorer driver server based on 32-bit I or 64-bit I, you download this exe file and you can simply write system.set_property webdriver.i.driver and to the path of the iDriver exe in your PC. Okay, and you can write i.get http yahoo.com. Fine. I'll just comment the rest of the lines in this program, and when you run this code, hold on, yeah, when you run this code, it will open I, right? So it's again the same thing. The exe is there, and you can open I, and you can simply take it to yahoo.com, right? So for every browser, you have a different. Uh, for every hold on, for every browser, you have a different exe. Now, at times I fails to open. Okay, at times I fails to open. So for that, you have to be very careful with few things. First of all, in your I, you go to tools. Hold on. Yeah, you go to first of all, you have to do few settings in I in order to make it work. Okay, well, no, why this is not? Hold on, I'm not able to click on tools. Oh yeah, this doesn't matter. Okay, 1 minute. It's freezing the menu options. you have to do few settings in I. First of all, you have to make sure that your zoom level is 100% of browser. Okay. If your zoom level is not 100%, I gives issues. Secondly, you go to tools, internet options, and go to security. You will have four zones. For all the four zones, make sure this checkbox is not checked. Okay, you don't have to enable the protected mode, right? And in the advanced sections, in this advanced section, scroll down. Under security, there will be something known as allow active content to run files on my computer. Please make sure you check it. Okay, so these are the three things you have to be careful in I. The zoom level should be 100%. Okay, and you have to under in tools options you have to disable protected mode for all the four zones, and you have to allow active content to modify files. Okay, so these are three settings you have to be careful with. And these days, there is something known as Edge, which has come up, Microsoft Edge. Selenium guys, they have brought up Edge as well, support for Edge, right? And hold on, for Edge, you again need to download the exe. All right. If you go here, scroll down, you will have Microsoft Edge driver for the Edge browser on Windows 10. Fine. And if you scroll down, you will have these are the different exes, right? If you open the Edge browser, hold on, where is Edge on my PC? Just a minute. I don't use Edge at all, so it must be somewhere. Edge, yeah, over here. If you open it, right, and you can go to the help menu. Okay, over here, go to the menu, and uh, you will have this settings. Go to settings, scroll down. It's important to note down the Edge version 42.173.17134. Okay, and go to the Selenium website. Yeah, 17134. This is the Edge supported version. Okay, HTML version is 17.1734. Yeah, 1734 is the one. Okay, so this is the one which I have. So you click on this release, and what will happen is you will have the driver exe for Edge drive downloaded. I'll just download it and copy it and update my Microsoft WebDriver exe. Okay, fine. So now for Edge, you have to simply write the line system dot set property WebDriver dot edge dot driver to the value, that is to the path of exe, that is uh, this path. For Edge driver also, you have to make sure that you are using the latest exe, because at times there are few updates and then you don't use it, it creates a problem. And you can write Edge driver ed equals to new Edge driver, and ed dot get go to the URL http say bbc.com. So when I run this code, I will have the Edge browser opening up. You see it opens up and it will take me to BBC. Right. For Edge, you have to, you have to make sure about few things. Right. First of all, you have to work with latest Edge driver. Okay, exe. And secondly, if I run this program again, if I'm running this again, I'll get an exception. You cannot run this again because the browser is already opened. Okay, the browser is already opened, so you cannot open this again. So you have to make sure browser is closed. in case of edge. Right, so you have got these all these drivers and their EXCs. These are the major drivers which we use. Safari driver is unstable, it doesn't work properly. Okay, right. Now, out here, you don't have to write this line again and again. System.set property. You can ignore that. You can keep all the driver files at a single location like I have kept. Okay, copy this location and set it in the environment variables of your system. Go to your PC, your computer, right click on this, go to the properties, right, and you will see advanced system settings. Go here and you will have this window in which you have the advanced tab. Go to environment variables over here. Okay, and you have to scroll down, you will see a path variable. Edit this. In Windows 10, you will get a screen like this. In Windows 7 or 8, you will get a screen like this. Okay, in Windows 10, what you need to do is you need to create a new path variable, give the path of the folder where you have kept all the driver files. Okay, in case of Windows 7 or 8, you will get a window like this. In this variable value, go to the end, don't fiddle with anything, go to the end, put a semicolon and give the path of the driver folder. Put a semicolon and after that give the path of driver folder in case of Windows 7 or Windows 8. Right. And then you will have to restart your system as well. Click on OK, OK and restart your system. And after restarting, these all drivers will be loaded in the system and you don't need to write system.set property. You can directly create the object of the driver files, and when you create the object of the driver files, they will work. You don't have to write the line system.set property again and again. Okay, you see that my Firefox is working. All right, fine. So this is about basic drivers, but the question which arises is that do you have to learn about every driver? Okay, the answer to that is of course no, we don't have to learn about every driver separately. We can write scripts which can work on every browser. A single script which can work on every browser. Every browser has a different driver file. Chrome has Chrome driver, Firefox has Firefox driver. But we can write scripts which will work on every driver. That we can do. Okay, right. Now, what I want you guys to do, right? I created object yesterday. Yesterday, I created this object. Chitra, I created the object of Chrome driver. Yeah, I did not keep the EXEs. Right. Now, what I want you to do is to solve few exercises. Those of you who have registered, log into your account and solve the exercises in module 2 and 3. Please do that. Okay, I'm going to create a new file over here known as task list and .txt, wherein we will note down all the exercises which I'm giving you. On day 2, I've asked you to solve exercises in module 2 and 3. Guys, whatever I'm giving you is really important. Okay. Gradually, I'll give you some dummy projects, exercises, and all everything. So that once you are done with the training, okay, in the end, I'm also going to give you a test by the end of the training. Okay, right. Look, we we don't market it, but yes, we do help people in getting jobs. And we do help people in getting jobs as we have some tie-ups with consultants in India as well as the US. Okay, right. And but before we actually train you and we send your resumes to consultants, we need to actually make sure that you are at a certain level for clearing an interview. Okay, and our it is not up to us to make you reach that level. We can help you learn it, we can give you exercises, but in the end, it is you who has to sit down and burn the midnight oil. So those of you who I think will perform good in test, we can market your resume and we can actually share it with consultants and all everybody. So please take this training quite seriously if you have enrolled for it. Okay, there's a question being asked that where I can get access. If you are enrolled for this training after logging in, you will see different modules, pre-recorded modules. Under the pre-recorded modules, you will have the exercises. Okay, right. You can go to our site. Hold on, qtpselenium.com. I'll show you. Just a minute. It's taking a little while to load this. I'll show you by logging into the account that it's taking time. Yeah, my Chrome has hanged a little bit. Yeah, you can sign in into your account. One minute, guys. Okay, there's a question being asked. Yesterday you showed us Google Drive document. I can't access it. Google Drive document? Okay, the course day by day. Okay, I don't have it right now with me. I'll share it with you tomorrow. Or hold on, I think I will have it. Okay, you can go to this Selenium training section and out here go to module 2. These are different modules. Okay, go to play now button over here and you will be able to see solve quiz and exercises. Okay, under module 2 as well as module 3. Okay, please try to solve them. Okay, the exercises, the solutions are also given. Everything is given. Right. So if you think, if look, the objective is that I want you guys to clear that test, which we are planning. Okay. And then we can start marketing your resume and all if you perform good in that. Okay. So that will be by the end of the training. Okay. So fine then. Right. I'll end this session. In case you want to join the training, you can come on the live chat of the website as well. Okay. Right. Thank you. We'll mail you the recordings, and for tomorrow's class, you will get a new invite. Yeah. Thanks.